Xiao here from salesforceway.com. Today I'm very excited to present this topic in this video. We're going to talk about how to find a job basically in Finland. So recently we gathered several, let's say a bunch of software engineers offline. We really break down this topic into pieces and then we openly talk and then we share experience one with another. We have gone through from how to write a CV, send out CV, how to jump into an interview session, how to check an offer if we ever got an offer, and then how to accept the offer, leave the current job, then start the new career in the new company. So this whole chain of story has been discussed. So in this video, I'm gonna just recap as much information as I still remember. Hopefully it will be as useful for you as it was really for me. Okay, let's now get the ball rolling here. Actually, the first topic is about the CV content. So in your CV, what are you gonna put there? Usually we start with like education or work experience. You're a programmer, then software engineer, are you a test engineer? So try to bullet point and put those important points into your CV. And then of course we discussed what else should we as a software engineer to put in the CV. If you have a really good GitHub account, repos, popular repos, or you have contributed in some popular open source project, do put the link over there and shortly state what you have done. Also, if you have some other side project, you have your own website, your own technical blog, so anything that can well-rounded your features as a software engineer, you should put in your CV. So that's like a common story. Everybody know that. If you search from the Google, you will also get a lot of instructions around this topic. So we don't spend too much time in this video to talk about that. But do pay attention that if you have a CV, don't put more than 2 pages of content, okay? The HR really hate long CV. They just want you to bullet point the most important things. If you want to add extra information, put a link over there. So that make your CV content looks really concise, okay? This is the first point about the CV content. If we move on, then definitely we need to know how to send out the CV, right? So to where do we send out the CV? For example, in Finland, we discussed a lot. So this screenshot I attached to the slide, it's the, let's say all the software engineers we contributed. We know all this like a job hunting website, LinkedIn, Indeed.fi, Monst website, Seek, all these places. Actually, most of them I don't really know. I recently more tend to use LinkedIn because after it was acquired by Microsoft, I think it gained more popularity among the software engineering field. But do check all the other websites to extend the possibility to getting a job. Okay, so just do as you want. The second point we discussed is the strategy. So of course there's the open market over there, a lot of open positions. So how do you apply for a job? Do you apply for just 5 jobs, 50 jobs, or 500 as the extreme kind of scenario? So different people actually really do have different strategy. For me, what I did is I would ask myself, what do I really want to do? So like recently I decided I want to jump into Salesforce. So I say I want to be a Salesforce developer or Salesforce consultant. So then I just apply for the Salesforce related jobs. But if you are front-end engineer, definitely there's many more jobs open there in the market. So you can apply for many more, like 50 jobs. But do still ask yourself in advance, what do you really want to do? What makes you happy in addition to the salary? So plan your career, be careful before jumping into the pool. That would be my suggestion. So after that, we also discussed about how much time do we really spend when we try to find one job. So let's say if there's a job X, of course you need to check the job description. What do they want? For example, if they want QA, then definitely you need to put your testing related experience on the CV and highlight it on the top. Like I've been doing testing automation, have helped other project to do the manual testing. So those things should be highlighted and prioritized in your CV. And many other stuff, maybe they are, you can eliminate them or you can even delete them if they are not so relevant. So do pay attention to the job requirement, then somehow accordingly to customize your CV, including your cover letter if you do have a cover letter. And the last point, which is also quite important, I think, so consistency. You should be really be constant if you want to find a job, because maybe at the moment of time there's not really good job available in the market. But don't lose hope or just close everything. So you do need to be constantly open the page and check if there's more job available in the market. What I would recommend everybody to do if you are responsible for your own career is that you open an Excel sheet, then just put all your applied job in the Excel sheet, put the date there as well, and say uh, like a status. Am I already get rejected or am I still waiting for response? So uh, make a list. Then along the journey, you can track what has happened, what company you have already applied, and then what jobs have already applied. This keep you like have a tracking system. Actually, most of the software engineers know what is like a versioning control system. We want to really see the whole history of everything. So be consistent, which is super important, okay? Then let's say we send out the CV, then luckily everybody should be able to get the interview, right? If you don't get any interview after like 2 months of constantly seeking for a job, then definitely there's something wrong about your CV, about your own experience. Then go back to check what has went wrong, ask around. Let's assume now we get the interview. So we were asked to join the interview. So first of all, we need to be very clear what type of interview is it? Is it like a phone interview? People just call you, or is it like a telecom conference interview? People could see your face from the internet, or is it like off-site? So you go to the company and then they book a meeting room and talk with you. Usually for like this kind of offline session, there could be like one technical guy, one HR guy, or one manager lined up in the same place to talk with you. So prepare for all this type of interviews and then prepare the content accordingly. So how to prepare for interview? There's also a bunch of free sources in the internet. Just Google that. I think most of them are very useful already. We don't cover it here anymore. How to act in the interview? It's the same thing. So a lot of information. Be confident and really know things that you are working on. If you are a software professional engineer, you do need to know what you're doing, right? You take a long time, you graduated from your university, then you have your working experience, you have done something, you need to know what you have done, right? Then during the interview, when people ask you skills related questions, you need to know and be confident to give them answers. So quite a common thing. Then let's say several rounds of interview depends on the hiring process of different company. Then you get to the final round, which is really exciting for everybody. Usually it's like we select one person out of 2 or 3 candidates. So here we hit really good states, right? So we have 33% or 50% of a chance of really getting an offer. So here you should be paying more attention to prepare for this final round interview, right? So that's about that. And also interesting thing is that we also discussed what kind of questions we will be asked in the final round interview. I put two here, which are really interesting. One question is that what is your expected salary? In Finland, it's quite common to ask like this. I think in the US, it's somehow different. So people can say, I don't want to say what is my expected salary. You give me the offer first. But in Finland, it's quite common. So HR definitely will ask what's your expected salary. They have their budget, and you have the expected salary. They want to see if the two really matches. What to answer the expected salary? Do your homework beforehand, okay? Do the homework. That's super important. Check in the market. If you apply for a front-end engineer, for example, what is the common salary in the market? You do need to know that. You go to the Glassdoor, you go to whatever website, there's like a labor unit who can also help you to know what's the current year's salary according to your age, according to your working experience. There's like a salary expectation over there in your labor unit if you have ever joined any labor unit. So let's say you did your homework, you expect the salary 3,000 to 4,000, which is the range, right? According to, so 3,000 is like, okay, acceptable, but it's quite like on the left wing of the salary range. But of course, the 4K is your dream salary. Everybody who is applying for a job want to get to that dream salary. So that's exactly what we want to do. Assume that we have the same experience with same background, okay? Of course, on the other side, HR also has their budget. Let's say they could be, say, 3,200 to 3,800. It's another range. So what to do when you ask this expected salary? Different people have different answer, also according to your condition. Like, do you have like a multiple offer at hand, or do you have, let's say, a house loan to pay back, or you have two kids waiting for you to feed them? So it really depend on different conditions of different people. So what I would say is that I might just say to this dream salary, I'd say, okay, I have confidence, I have a long working experience, and I have this and that, then 4,000 is my expected salary. And actually, really pay attention to this salary expectation. If you say too low, let's say if you say 3,500, you won't really hit the dream salary. It's really, really hard. Maybe it's a small possibility. It's super hard, right? So this is the first price tag you give out there. So try to think carefully what's your answer in advance before you enter this final interview round. And then second question, what's your current salary? Which is a really interesting question. I've asked around in the offline session with the software engineers. Actually, there were really HR asking this exact same question. I was really aghast, I was really shocked. I don't think any professional HR should even ask this question, but unfortunately, things they did. In Finland, if you go to, the tax office, everybody's tax information is open. You just go there and somehow following the process, you can check whoever in Finland how much salary they gain, how much tax they pay. It's open. So I don't know if HR really want to track you. They can do that. I don't know why they ask him here. Maybe one reason is that they ask your current salary, and if it's really lower than their range, then if your current salary is 3K, they might just give you 3K 500 instead of 4K, even if you are qualified for this 4K salary, right? You get 500 more, and they assume you're happy. So don't say your current salary, okay? I'm gonna repeat 3 times. Don't say your current salary, don't say your current salary. So instead, you should say, and which is quite a professional as well, is you need to protect your current company privacy. No company want employee to expose their salary number. So you could answer, I'm not allowed to say that. If you want to check my salary, go to by yourself. I'm not gonna say. Okay, I think that's a good answer. Other questions, well, there are a bunch of other questions, but I don't quite remember. Then afterwards, the final round, after the final round interview, HR would promise you like within a week or 2 weeks to call you back, whether you get the offer or not. And I asked the question, if HR didn't respond anything in time, what would you do? And everybody actually in the session agreed we should approach HR proactively. So just send them an email or call them to ask. Some HR, they are just busy, it's just their daily job, just like you in your office. They might be busy, don't have time to handle the things, but always reach them to ensure what's going on, what's the status. So it's also a good thing to do. Getting an offer. So congratulations if you really get an offer, or you get really lucky, then you get multiple offers. What to pay attention in the offer? Offer usually comes as a digital version or as a paper version. It states many things in details, like your salary per month, like your working hours, like your bonus. Actually, these things are really important for you to check. Really go through your contracting. Spend as much time as possible, word by word, sentence by sentence, to understand what's in the offer. If you don't know anything's vague in your offer, ask around, ask professionals, ask lawyers, ask your friends, get help, okay? Just clarify everything. There's no silly questions here in the offer. Once you sign, nothing can be changed afterwards, okay? This is your own responsibility, so take care. So what we discussed about the salary, the working hours. So in Finland, usually 37.5 hours, sometimes the 40 hours, but just check that. Make sure it's not 50 hours or 60 hours in the startup company. And then there's a bonus or benefit. So you get some sporty coupons, you get the home internet, you get some other benefits like the bus, car, or phone bills. So just according to the company, there's some different benefit. So it's not just the salary, it's also the benefit. So salary plus the benefits. And that's also important thing is the health insurance. Make sure you check that. Health insurance is super important. If you get sick, who pays that? Okay, in Finland, if you go to private doctor, easily it's several hundred euros. The final thing is the positioning. I put highlighted in red here. What does it mean positioning here? Is like when you have an offer on your table, what's the employer and the employee's situation? Who is more eager to get the job or get the guy to working here? Let's say if I assume I have multiple offers, 2 or 3 offers at hand already, I'm quite confident, right? There's no panic. I just check the offer, and then if they gave me a good salary, I'd say I would really think about it. I would reply within time. If it's really shitty salary, I maybe just tell them, do you want to negotiate? I think this is slightly lower than I expected. Or if I have, let's say I have a good savings which can cover me 6 months or 1 year. I don't really need a job that urgently. So then I can, be relaxed and which actually puts you more on a higher positioning in this salary negotiation or offer negotiation thing. From the company point of view, they might urgently want to start a project for their customer and they want you to join. There's no other guy applying the job or are as qualified as you, so they want you, they give you an offer. If at this status you ask for better salary or the salary that you are dreaming for, maybe they will accept, right? So there's no harm to ask for once, at least once, for the salary negotiation. Of course, if you ask for too many times, people will doubt about your motivation. Are you just coming here for salary, or are you really working for me? So pay a little bit attention to that. So at least one time of salary negotiation, if you're not happy with the salary, I think that's quite okay. You can negotiate with HR or even with your direct boss. Okay, the positioning is super important. Think about it. Leave the current job. Let's say you got the offer, you accept the offer, then you're gonna tell your current company that you're leaving the job. In Finland, usually below 5 years is 2 week so-called notification period. If above 5 years, it's 1 month, unless your current working contract stated clearly that you have, let's say, 2 months or 3 months notification period. That's a different story. By default, in the Finnish law, it's what I just said. But according to the contract, there might be something different. So, as I said, if you need to sign the contract, pay attention to that. So let's assume that in the final month, you need to leave your current job. What are you gonna do? Maybe you are already so energized, so want to go to the new job, and you don't want to waste your time in your current job. Don't do that. It's unprofessional. It's bad for your reputation as well. So try help your current employer as much as possible. Cooperate with them, have meeting with them, do the knowledge transferring to the next guy, write the documentation as much as possible. So do all the things, before leave the current job. Because in Finland, it's more. First of all, it's professional. You get paid, so you do the job. And secondly, in Finland, it's more, right? It's you don't know whenever you might be coming back to the same company, or you might reach your current boss in some other companies. So you need to keep your reputation everywhere in the country. And the second one, what to do in the exit interview. There must be one reason or multiple reasons you want to jump out, right? It could be you don't like the salary, you don't like your boss is asshole, or maybe you just don't like what you're doing over there. So what to do in the exit interview? I do sincerely recommend everybody to tell the truth, but don't say anything bad to anybody, or to to your colleagues, or to your boss, because that's just unprofessional. You are here. If your boss is an asshole, why is why you staying here? Why aren't you just earlier going out? So because you're not professional, you didn't get the job, and now you get the job, you want revenge. So those things are just naive. So just tell the HR the truth is that the career is not exactly what the company can offer. So I want to jump out to do something more fitting to my goal, which is the truth, right? Uh, then inform your colleagues. People sending massive email out telling them, saying goodbye, farewell. But to your close colleagues, I think it's good to book a lunch meeting, talk with them in private or one-to-one. So tell them your story, where you're going, and keep in touch, add the LinkedIn. So I think that's quite good. And what about my team? So you're working in the team in the current company. When you're leaving, people on the team need to take care of your original tasks, or there could be, in the ideal world, is another guy replacing you. So also don't feel guilty. So it's your choice to go out. Everybody has the choice. So if they take more responsibility, more of your job, well, that's just a manager's task. Okay, manager need to hire more people. It's not your fault. Finally, the long-term view, we have discussed a lot. We have gone through from how to, let's say, the whole chain of getting a new job. So, but that's not a thing in a silo. It's actually it's a marathon. Okay, you need to, let's just go through this list here. The first one is constantly polish engineering skill. So as a software engineer, everybody know that we need to keep learning. There's no non-stop. There's always a new thing coming in the market. You need to learn. So that's everybody need to do that. If you don't do this, then of course you can't get a job. Nobody wants you. Second one, run career as your own business. I think this is super important. I added to this slide. I also discussed this and throw out this topic in the offline session because I think how would I say? So even though you are your own person, you don't have your own company, but think yourself as a company and your boss who are paying you to work over there as your customer. So think like that, then you change your mindset. You are more proactive. You're more thinking from your customer point of view. The customer is keen. You want to help him. You always think on top, on their behalf. You're always more proactive, more energized working. So especially after long term working the same job with the same salary, you lose the motivation. So think about it. It's your own business. It's your own thing. So another one, inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is a term in the marketing area, but I think it's super, super important. I think it's the one, let's say, I would say this is the top one important thing. Every software engineer needs to have the inbound marketing. When people search your name in Google, they should be able to find you, no matter it's your blog, no matter it's your YouTube video tutorial, or I don't know, open source project, a podcast. You are joining any podcast to share your knowledge, or you go to a charity project to contribute. So all those things were attributed to your kind of inbound marketing. People should be able to find you, to track you, to know your reputation. Okay. Actually, I was also shocked when I'm in this offline session. I asked the engineers in the room. There are more than 15 guys over there. Do you guys have a blog? Nobody says yes. I was really shocked. So create a blog if you're a writing guy, or if you want to talk like me, you create audio like a podcast. If you also want to practice your video skills like I'm doing here, so just then create a video session in your YouTube channel. Just create a channel. It's free for everybody. Just create that and then make sure you constantly adding new materials. And another important thing is that the things you are creating, the content you are creating should make value for people in the public. The more value you create to others, the more kind of inbounding marketing you are creating for yourself, the better. And network and the people skills. Add people in the LinkedIn, go to the offline sessions, the meetup sessions, and also try to gain a little bit more people skill. People skill is super important. We are working in this kind of dependent world. Everybody needs to work with somebody else. So I truly believe that the software engineers who get paid the most is not those guys with the best skills. It's those guys with reasonably good skills plus great people skills. Okay, think about that. This is my point. Last one, self-esteem, self-awareness. Well, this is the story. If you're getting old like I am, then you're more thinking about, I can even move this one, like what are you doing here? So you're climbing the mountain in a software engineer career. You go top, you could be a senior engineer, and you could be leading a team, leading even a big unit. Are you really happy with what you're doing? You get well paid, but well paid doesn't mean you're happy, right? If you're really happy, then I'm really proud of you. You get well paid, you're happy. That's a win-win. But I see so many people that climb the ladder so diligently, but when they reach the peak of a mountain, they don't know, they're lost. So they're not happy. So read some books about the self-esteem, self-awareness. Make sure you're always on the right road. You're heading to the place you want to go, and always adjust your direction if you want. Okay, that's all I want to talk about. I try to recap everything we have done in the session. Hopefully, it's also useful for you. There's a bunch of other books over there in the Amazon. If you want to check, go there to pick up the books to read to get more details. You can also reach me if you want to read software engineer related topic books. I have several books to recommend. I didn't put it here. I don't want to be to look like a sales guy here. So approach me whatever method on my first page, and see you guys around. That's it. Bye bye.